What is up, podcast, and welcome to the Race Flays Podcast Network. We have another amazing show for you today. Man, I'm super excited, pumped about this show. And here's the reason why. Back in February, I started the podcast, the Race Flays Podcast, and I had no idea, still don't have any idea what in the heck I am doing. So I was super excited to get my next guest on. It took me a while when I first started. It took me a while to start the podcast. Anyways, my friend Habib was telling me about the do the podcast. Is good. They got the Young Nails podcast. It's tons of followers. They're doing an amazing job for their company. So they're just telling me about, get a podcast. You got to get a podcast. You got to pay. So finally, this past February, I stepped out and started doing it. But I noticed it was kind of doing the foodie thing with the Instagram is cool because you have like a lot of people like Earns. You got the Hood Foodie who my guest knows, as a matter of fact, the Hood Foodie. You got all the foodies, and we're all together. We all know each other. We're shooting the stuff back and forth on the Instagram. We're commenting in each other's comments. We're going on each other's lives. We're all supporting each other. But I didn't know what game I was getting into when I was getting into a podcast. Like, who do I talk to? What, who's even in this? Is there a group? Is there a bunch of camaraderie happening in the podcast realm, just like there is foodies? I didn't know, but slowly but surely the Mega Man started commenting on my comments, and all of a sudden this huge superstar podcast starts commenting on my comments, and it's the show called The Profile Podcast. So please help me welcome my next guest, Mr. Andy Saldivar, or better known as Double A from The Profile Podcast. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you so much for having me, man. I appreciate the intro, man. And man, we are an exclusive group, man. There's a
is that what it is?
Secret society going on.
See, I knew it was something different. I knew it was totally different. It was like people know who the Instagrammers are. Like you when you go on Instagram, you know who the foodies are, you know who the musicians are, but the podcasters are a little elusive, right? They're like underground, right?
That's true, man. Yeah, that we're out there though, man. We're under the some of those rocks out there and crevices and rabbit holes, but we pop up here and there, man. Man. But thanks again for having me on, man. I appreciate you, brother.
Oh, dude, I'm glad you jumped on. I mean, this podcast, dude, it's number 4 in Los Angeles. This is not just a small podcast that you do. Oh
man, I appreciate it. Yeah, big shout out to Los Angeles Entrepreneurs Magazine and
Entrepreneurs Magazine.
What's that?
Entrepreneurs Magazine?
Yeah, Los Angeles Entrepreneurs. Now
wow.
They've since rebranded, changed their name to Soalish Los Angeles. I hope I'm not butchering that pronunciation, but they do this thing where they ask people to vote for their favorite podcasts in the Los Angeles area, and I took action and I lobbied for myself, and I voted for others as well, and so. It turned out it was number 4. So yeah, it was.
What's it called? How do you spell it?
Soalish. It's SOE. In fact, matter of fact, give me 1 second. I'll tell you. So I'll look it up right here, man.
Let's look it up on Instagram.
Yeah. Thank you for the power of technology, right at our fingertips. It's SOELEISH. Soalish Los Angeles, bro. So. Check it out. They got a big Instagram page. It's about 105,000 followers.
105,000?
Mm-hmm.
Holy moly. Yeah. That's crazy. Soalish.
Soalish.
On Instagram. Crazy, man.
Yeah, it used to be Los Angeles Entrepreneurs. So.
Wow. Wow. So that's huge. I mean, besides the fact you have 3,000 followers, that's not easy to do. You must have a lot of people listening to your show to be able to get all the way up to number 4 with all the people are popping up with podcasts every freaking day now, right? There's gardening, there's airplanes, there's gluing things together podcasts, there's all kinds of basketry podcasts. I mean, people don't even know what to listen to anymore.
I know. There's a little bit of everything out there, man. And I found I started doing my podcast. I started podcasting in January of 2019. And,
wow, way back in 2019.
Yeah, I know, man. It seems like so long ago, yet still not that long ago. and I started doing a podcast on the 90s, everything from bands, movies, highlighting the decade of the 90s. And so
is that seems like the theme. Like I was listening to, I've been listening to the show a lot. I've been listening to it in my car, driving to work, driving back to work. And you have like these legit artists from the 90s on the show. And was that the kind of theme when you started the show? Was that kind of the direction you wanted to go?
Yeah. Yes. Initially, that's when I thought about what I was going to do a podcast on, I had to do it on something that I was passionate about, something that I really enjoyed, that was near and dear to me. Otherwise, it's going to be something that, you don't want something that you're not really going to be talking, you don't like to talk about, or you can care less about. If you're going to do a podcast, you got to do something you enjoy talking about. It's simple, right?
Because it's work, like it's not work, but you got to make it not work, right? Like not work by making it something you, like you said, you're passionate about. That's what we talk about a lot on the show is passion. Yeah. So this is your passion. Podcasting is your passion. Not only that, the subject matter that you do talk about is a passion of yours as well.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So, going back to that podcast, the 90s, and then right around a year and a half in, I started thinking, well, I want to do a little bit more and connect more with my guests, So I started thinking, what am I going to do now? I want to kind of mix it up and start highlighting others. I want to put them on a pedestal, shine the light on artists, people doing, extraordinary things in life, everything from entrepreneurs, human interest stories, success stories of inspiration, man. And
hell yeah.
Kind of made a pivot. I shifted a little bit. And
when did that happen? Give me a feel for so you started in 2019 and most businesses were highly affected by COVID in 2020, but a thing like podcasts, here's an interesting question. Did it have any effect during 2020 on the podcast?
That's exactly when I made that pivot in April of 2020, and about a little over 2 years ago now. And it was kind of seamless because at the time I was already going. I was recording remotely and virtually.
So you weren't jumping and going to people's houses or anything like that.
No. At that time, I was just doing it.
Because when I started, I was going to restaurants and stuff like that, and going to different places. But then they closed, so I was pretty screwed.
Oh yeah, exactly. I know some people had to go through that, but
So you were it was seamless for you.
It was kind of seamless. Yeah, I was already doing it remotely, so it was kind of it didn't really matter at that point, but
that's awesome.
So yeah, I just started doing I started bringing on individuals to highlight them. And then, I was doing it on StreamYard on YouTube and going live a lot.
Good. Yeah, StreamYard's great.
Yeah, it is. And then about almost a year after that, I joined a podcast network called the Social Nostra. And
Social Nostra?
Social Nostra, like Cosa Nostra.
Oh my God.
It's Social Nostra.
Is this something I got to get jumped into, or how do I got to give a certain amount every month? What do I got to do?
That is exclusive information. I can't
disclose that. Wow.
No.
That's how secretive the society is.
I have to make you an offer. I can't refuse it.
You gotta hang out with the right people.
I'm not at liberty to discuss. So
one of these days I'm gonna ask you for a favor.
Yeah.
And when I do,
bro.
I hope you will return the favor.
Big shout out to Kevin Perkins, man, of Social Nostra. He approached me. He's like, hey man, I'd like to come, have you come on, and I love what you do. And what do you think about joining the network? And so I thought about it, and I said, yeah, man, of course, man, let's do it. He's got a pretty large Instagram page as well. And so
is it an app that you jump into as a podcaster, or is it something where they link your podcast to their network? What is it like?
Yeah, basically, we do it on Zoom. We record on Zoom, and then he'll upload to Instagram and post the episodes on Instagram, as well as all the major platforms, right? All the audio platforms and Roku. So
okay. So are you uploading all your stuff through him?
Yeah. So
nice.
Not everything. I do an episode of one a week.
Oh, you do one a week.
But I also do my own exclusive content, on my platform. exclusively, on the Profile Pod. I have my own YouTube channel. I'll post on my own Instagram page. So I mix it up a little bit, So I'm also part of Doc TV 33. Big shout out to Doc TV 33 is another network I'm on. Also available on Roku and Amazon and Google. What's it called? Google Play, I think it's called.
Wow.
So we're doing things, man. We're doing things out there.
So you can this is why I got you on the show. This is all new to me. So like what I'm doing, I'm using Acorn, or what is it? Anchor. And then it just goes everywhere. It goes to Spotify, it goes to iTunes. But with you do that. Plus you have these guys where they can take your MP4 and put it up on these other platforms, right?
Exactly, wow. Bro. So again, and then I do my own content. So I branched out on these other networks, but yet I'm still doing my own as well. So I'm just trying to maximize exposure, obviously, and taking these opportunities that come my way, man. And I'm grateful, and it's been a great journey, man. Podcasting, and I'm trying to get back into the acting world, and
were you an actor previously?
I was, man.
No way, like movies and stuff.
I did a lot of background work back in about 2005, 2006. I was also on Mad TV. I don't know if you recall that show.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I don't know how old you are, bro.
I don't want to mention, but I'm old enough that Mad TV was on the TV during my time.
Okay, bro.
Mad TV in living color. That's my time right there.
There you go. So I was on Mad TV. I was a Jose Canseco lookalike.
What lookalike?
Jose Canseco, remember the baseball player?
Yeah, Jose. So they had you as Jose Canseco?
Yeah. I got a speaking role. It was cool, man. And you can check that out. You can check that out on my Instagram page, and
dude, I gotta check
up on YouTube.
I got a movie star on here, ladies and gentlemen. See, exclusive on Race Flags podcast. You guys don't want to miss a show. You see what you get.
Exactly,
fantastic. It's funny. The only sponsor I have is actually a background actor. He's from Orange County. He does all kinds of background work, and he's from Orange County. When you're an actor, you're supposed to live in Hollywood, but this guy lives in Orange County. I think he's doing it all wrong. I don't know what he's. He's funny. If you ever see him, you'll trip out. Shout out to Jeremy Alvarez, actor. He is ready to do any job out there for Hollywood. He'll do that for you. Jeremy Alvarez.
Jeremy Alvarez. I know another guy out in Orange County. He's
same thing.
Yeah, he's doing his thing as an actor, but he's in Orange County. But anyway, so yeah, man, podcasting is definitely a unique medium. It's definitely in its infancy, man, and you got in at a great time, brother.
Oh, dude, I was wondering, because it seems like when I got in at first, there was there was big shows like Joe Rogan. There was different little shows here and there. Now it's like everybody's doing a podcast. It's crazy. Like I don't know. Is it flooding, or is it not even close to flooding?
Oh man, it's interesting, bro. Because a lot of the podcasts that I'm seeing now are from about 2 years ago. Have kind of gone dormant. I haven't seen them, And then obviously new ones are popping up. But I think from what I've read, there's about 3 million podcasts on the books.
3 million?
Yeah. However, only about 100 to 300,000 of those only are actually active. You have a lot of these that sprang up during the COVID, during the pandemic, or you get a bunch of drunk frat guys. Hey, let's start a podcast. They jump on Anchor.
Right.
Now there's a podcast, with the name and the title. It's technically on the books,
but
they haven't
floating
done a
there
in 2 years. What's happening?
Right. It's like if you had a YouTube channel, you're still on there.
Exactly.
It's still counted, but it's not
active.
Like active or updated or anything like that. And what do you think? Okay. So advice for me, like, what does it take to have that longevity, that consistency to take it to the long term, the long haul? Like, I don't want to be like a couple of my friends who started a podcast and it putters out. Obviously it's tough. Me and you know this, we have kids. How do we continue that stamina and keep it going for the long haul?
I think it's a combination of things, man. It has to start with how how driven are you? You know, how passionate are you about this? How much do you enjoy this thing, podcasting? You know, I'm like I said, I'm going on 3.5 years now.
3 years. Wow.
3.5. Yeah. 3.5
January.
Almost 4. Yeah. Yeah. And I've been pretty consistent with one episode a week. Okay.
One a week.
Yeah.
And then are you doing a separate episode for the other guys, or just keeping it one week?
Pretty much one a week, whether it's for Social Nostra, myself, or Doc TV 33, or producing other content, like doing street interviews or reels on Instagram, acting skits that I've done. But here's the thing, again, it's just it's pacing yourself to your own. Only you know how hard you can go. Or
what's crazy is, like, when I first started, I didn't know if you could just do one episode or two. I thought you were supposed to do it every single day. So when I first started, I was just doing it every single day. My friend's like, "You're going to kill yourself." I was like, "Oh, I thought you were supposed to do it every day." He's like, "No, dude, just like record some and then keep them." I'm like, "Oh, I thought it was like Instagram. I just keep going."
I'll tell you what, Ray, man, when I started, dude, I was like gung ho. I was like that, man. I was doing 2 or 3 a week.
Dang, yeah, dude.
But again, when you have a family, you have things, and you have a schedule, and
you have a day gig and everything too.
Day gig, just logistics, and everything else that comes into play. You're only human, right? So you have to take into account, how driven you are, logistics, scheduling, and how hungry you are. But I think it's okay to take a break here and there. I've had to, I forget what year it was, man. I went hard, man. And then I think it was 2020, man. It might have
2020 during COVID and all that.
Yeah. And then December came around. I was like, no, I'm going to I took about 3 weeks off, and then,
wow.
And I just ramped up, and started the year anew. And then this year, I needed a break, man. Like, what are we in July? I think I've done one episode now in about 3 weeks. But
right now you're on a break.
Right now I'm on a break. Yeah,
literally in a break. And what drives that? Is it your day gig, or is it family? What kind of situations will get you into that mode where you need to take a break?
Yeah, it could be both of those things, and just recognizing the fact that okay, you're only human. It's okay I'm going to step away, clear my head, and just take some time away, man. And I think before I was kind of like, I'm just going to suck it up and fight through it. And
right.
But now I think, it's like, okay, I've got enough content out there. I think I'm okay with stepping away for a couple weeks and then still producing content here and there,
for like Instagram and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's true, because now you have a portfolio. You have enough episodes out there that people can absorb and consume. So there's enough out there that it's still there. Did you see any drop in your numbers? Because that's what my partner always says. Like, well, dude, you got to keep going, because your numbers are going to fall off. You're not consistent. Did you see any of that?
Honestly, I didn't.
Oh, wow.
Think because the beautiful thing about all your episodes and controlling your own content is you can promote your content as much as you want. Like I can go back and from a year, take an episode, 5 episodes from a year ago, and then just repost them on my stories on Instagram or whatever social media platform. Repost those clips, those highlight clips, and then post them back up. Put the links back up, and then people can see those and go back a year ago. It's beautiful, man. It's beautiful.
That makes sense, because there's people that probably haven't seen certain episodes, and so you can market to all this new market.
It's just a constant promotion, man. Promotion is key in this game, man. One thing I've learned, and from what I've read, and I'm a student of the game, man. I research, I learn from other podcasters, I read up on it, on the industry. And you got to do that, man. You got to stay on top of things.
Is there a newspaper I should be reading? What is this?
Yeah,
I need to know.
Yeah, actually, mainly other podcasts, man. And there's
other podcasts. Okay.
I'll give a shout out to Kevin Schmidlin. It's a podcast called Grow Your Show. Grow the Show or Grow Your Show. And he has a lot of insight on. He's a very successful podcaster. And
Kevin, what's his last name again?
Schmidlin. It's CHEMEDLIN. Schmid. Grow the Show. Grow Your Show. You can't miss them.
Grow Your Show. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Kevin Schmidlin. Grow Your Show. I got to check that out.
And I've gotten a lot of insight from him, from his podcast episodes, man. He provides a lot of information. It's a how-to podcast, right? How to grow your show. So he gives you a lot of insight on how to leverage social media, tips and strategies you can apply to really grow your listenership, man. And not only that, grow your Instagram, your social media following. The
whole package sounds like
the whole kit and caboodle, as they say, right?
Yeah, dang, he's giving everything. That's freaking awesome. That's crazy. So
and podcast magazines out there, bro. You go on Clubhouse. Clubhouse has, I don't know if you're on Clubhouse.
Yeah, I'm on Clubhouse.
They have a lot of social media, podcast specific.
They have rooms?
Podcast? Yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. A bunch of different clubs you can join in that'll teach you on and show you strategies on podcasting and growing your podcast and a bunch of different stuff, man. And, it's all out there, man. You can vloggers, you can Google podcast, how to grow a podcast, there's all kinds of stuff out there now, man. But again, talking to other podcasters, joining groups, Facebook. Kevin Schmidlin, I don't know if you're on Facebook. It's crazy, man. I'm on all these social media platforms now, and
you're hooking up with podcasters.
Yeah,
that's crazy. So it's the same way, like the way I was hooking up with foodies and talking to food guys. There's actual. I knew it. There has to be a group out there like podcasters, like talking to each other or something like that. Mm-hmm. That's freaking awesome.
Check out Facebook, brother. Yeah, it's out there. There's a bunch of different. Kevin Schmidlin has one. It's a pretty large group community on Facebook, and there's a few others out there, man, on Facebook.
What about is this a scam? Have you heard of that? Like, it's almost like the Academy Awards for podcast. That ad that comes up on Instagram all the time. It's like Academy of Podcast. Like, get your show voted for, and then you click on it, and then it's like, okay, it's only $500 per show. You can enter your show here, and it's only $500. Is that a scam? So that's a scam, right?
Man, that's I honestly, I don't even. I don't pay attention to those things, man. So, because at the end of the day, man, I'm just, I got to do what's best for myself. And everybody has a different take on how to be a podcaster, how to be successful. And those are cool, man. Those are cool platforms. I mean, cool, if they're legit, then by all means. But at this point in time, I'm just really focused on honing my craft, man, and haven't really paid attention to any of those other, Academy Awards or podcast awards or what have you.
Yeah, it's like, it seems kind of like we're like, I was like, and it's like, what the? I mean, I wanted to know if it was like something that all you guys do. So I like clicked on it, and then I'm like, there's no way these guys are doing that, because it's like $500 every show. It's like, this is dumb. This is like one of those. Remember the sweepstakes on television? You keep doing the stamps, and then and you'll win $500,000 like this lady did. Like never happens. It's like crazy, nuts. It's like, if it's too good to be true, I guess it's definitely too good to be true.
Exactly. If you hear anything, let me know on that, bro.
Well, I'm gonna find somebody to make a podcast and then use their $500 and see if they win, and then I'll know if it's legit. And then I'll let you know if it's legit.
There you go.
We'll plan it. We'll make somebody do it for us.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
That's crazy. What is the let's go to some of the personas. What's the double A stand for?
So yeah, man, that's funny because
double A story.
I used to go by Andy Anatomical with the 90s Galore podcast, and my very first podcast. And then I started thinking, that's too damn long, man. That's just too damn long.
Were you like, that's like bodybuilding, right? Were you into bodybuilding?
And anatomical from the term, it's the anthropological term, anatomical modern human. I don't know. It just came to me one day, man. And then I said, you know what? I'm just going to keep it simple and just go with double A, And then one day I just started going with double A, and it just stuck. And here we are a few years later with double A, and people make fun. Oh, there's double A batteries, and double A MCO, AMCO, and
dang,
it's fun. It's funny though.
That's funny.
Yeah. That's
so was the show called something else before the Profile Pod?
It was called 90s Galore. That was the
90s
the original podcast, and then before I pivoted, and changed the theme and everything, and the profile, it became the Profile Pod because I was profiling people. It was a podcast, and it was a Profile Pod TV at first because I was going on YouTube. I was going live on YouTube a lot, and that was the TV piece came into play there.
So you were kind of like doing the podcast, recording it, but also going live with the podcast on YouTube?
On StreamYard. And then I went away from that. No particular reason why, but
it's a lot of work, right? Like there's a little bit more into it. Like with Zoom, we could just go on, click a button, good. But when you're doing StreamYards, you have like an actual like little mixer. You're going into different things, like right. You're trying to get it to go to your stream.
Yeah, it's true. It's very similar. The way my setup was very similar to, just hooking up on my laptop with the Zoom. It just depends on what kind of production you got, man. There's people doing very elaborate. I do have a Rodecaster, where I was connecting via that with the Rodecaster through my computer, and
that's like a little mixer thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Check that out if you get a chance. They just came out with a Rodecaster 2. I don't know if you're familiar with Rode, RODE. And it's
the same guys that makes the little lapel mics and all that.
Yeah.
Oh, crazy!
Rodecaster wireless 2s, the wireless Go.
I thought I saw something like that. Yeah, during like it flashed up on Instagram or something like that.
I use those too. Yeah, when I'm out doing street interviews, I use the Rode Wireless 2.
Yeah, I need to get a set of those. Those are freaking dope. We use those at work, but those are really good. They pick up nicely.
They're nice, bro. No doubt.
I had these little lapel ones from Japan. They lasted maybe like 6 months, and they freaking just broke up on me. It was crazy.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. Hold on 1 second, bro. I want to get a commercial break real quick. Hold on 1 second. Has the lack of wooded areas in California got you down? You just can't find the right wood to smoke with? Check out the Woodshed on Batavia Street there in Orange. That's 1015 North Batavia Street. You want wood? They have the best high quality wood. Pecan, they've got oak. They've got every kind of wood you need. And guess what? Charcoal, you want to cook with charcoal? That's okay. They've got charcoal. They've got briquettes. They've got all the tools you need to barbecue, even the meters, the thermostat, all the stuff you need, all the rubs, all the famous rubs that are out there. Everything you need to barbecue is at the Woodshed in Orange. That's 1015 North Batavia Street. Follow on Instagram, the Woodshed. Check it out. All right, we're back with Double A here, and we have the Profile Podcast Double A, basically the show, the Profile Show podcast, the Profile Podcast. Over 3,000 followers on Instagram, tons of listeners. Number 4 show on podcast in LA. This guy's been doing it for over 3 years. He knows what he's doing. He's got lots of listeners, lots of community, and it's a great show. If you listen to it recently, you had on, I was listening to this show. I mean, this guy has legit, like, you guys know how I have like local bands and like cool bands that I like to listen to, friends of mine that play music or artists and stuff like that. This guy has legit like superstars like Curtis Blow, like rappers from all genres of music, mostly 90s because he loves the 90s. He grew up in the 90s like myself. He has legit superstars. My question to you, Double A, how do you get these people?
Well, it's there's tricks that you can't, a magician never reveals his knowledge.
Oh, there's tricks.
No. One thing, here's one thing I've always told podcasters, one thing that I've learned, and it's something that I learned from a guy named Aaron Patton, man. He's another podcaster, and he's a guy I learned from. Aaron Patton, he's got the New Age Influencers podcast. And he's taught me a lot of stuff, man, from listening to him. And when I got into this game, his podcast was one I would listen to a lot to pick up strategies. And the one powerful tool that's available to you is the audio DM, on Instagram. So a lot of times,
I noticed that when I hit you up, like you responded with an audio DM. What is that all about?
It's just, the curiosity factor coming into play, right? Most people are going to want to listen to that message when they see
it was more personal too. It was like, oh dude, he like responded with a personal message. It felt really good. And I was like, dude, I responded right away, like instantly. I did an audio response right back to you because it was cool.
Yeah, exactly. That's part of the goal is to, again, create that personal touch and that curiosity factor. Someone, when you're approaching somebody for the first time, they don't know who the hell you are from Adam, right? But if you leave them in the audio DM, they're gonna be like, okay, what's in there? What's that all about?
That's so now I feel. So now I'm a little worried because I always message people like, hey, would you like to be on my show? But they're probably like, since I'm writing it, they're probably like, I don't know this guy. Like this guy's a freak. He's probably some sort of freak. I've never heard his voice. I don't know who he is. And he's just writing me random. So that's the problem. See, I'm glad I'm glad I got you on the show.
Hey, now it's just it's not to say that what you're doing is not working. It's just try this out. Try something new, right? And see how it works for you, and see if you really want to get fancy. Send a video DM to somebody, man. Some people might think it's weird, but
does Instagram do that? You can do that.
Yeah, you can do a video DM, bro. And I've never tried that. Actually.
Oh, because you hold the camera. That's right. There's a little camera button.
Yeah.
That's right. You can do that.
You can shoot, and then it's just adding that personal touch, man. Going above and beyond, and just writing a message. And again, no knock on anybody who's just doing it that way. If it works for you, more power to you. But it's just, something that I've tried and it's been very effective for me. So I just stuck with it. I like using, that way they can hear my voice. They can see what I sound like. I'm professional. I come across professionally and again, it's that personal touch, man.
It really it's obviously working. You've got star after star after star on your show. How many episodes are you at now?
Oh man, I think I'm literally about, I want to say 162.
Wow, 162
episodes. Yeah, with counting all, with 90s Galore, the first podcast.
Yeah,
Profile Pod, combined. So about 162.
Dude, so I mean, obviously, I think I know the answer to this question. Obviously, for you, what piques your interest is like 90s music, 90s era stuff. What do you look? Is that what you're looking for are you looking through Instagram, or where are you looking, and what are you looking for? I guess is my question.
Yeah, mainly Instagram, man. Mainly Instagram. I just people that I'm curious about, the people that I want to talk about and talk to, and I see that they're passionate. I see that they're successful, and all these things come into play when I solicit guests, right? And that's what I look for, man. People who are doing extraordinary things, man. And they could be acting, it could be, directing, podcasters, entrepreneurs, success stories, and musicians I've had come on, young entrepreneurs. So it really just comes down to a good chemistry, good dynamic, a good fit. I want people who are humble, who are just driven, ambitious, but just cool people, man. Good people, man. I'm not going to bring on somebody who's arrogant or who has a bad reputation.
Well, let me ask you, I don't mention the name, but have you ever had anybody just come on and be a jerk on your show?
You know what? I've been pretty lucky with that. I haven't had, I've had no, I can't say it. Now that I think back, I can't say I have, man. Honestly.
Any weird situations ever happen on the recording there where you had to be like, I got to cut this out?
Well, more like technical difficulties.
Like we just had earlier.
Yeah. Where it's, I'm on StreamYard Live, and all of a sudden I can't get it to, it cuts out, and there's people watching, and you just kind of have to. Yeah, those types of situations.
That's the thing about live. It's scary. Is like if your equipment goes out, your battery runs out. Like right now, if my battery ran out, we could pause. But if you're live, you're kind of like, just juggling and stuff like that.
It sucks, man. But you just kind of have to roll with the punches, and it's part of life. People understand that. Even the audience will understand. Hey, there's technical difficulties sometimes, and stuff happens. And at the end of the day, it's not your fault. But yeah, I've had just little things like that. Where stuff, just technical stuff happens and cuts out, and you're just like inside you're cussing your head off inside your but you're keeping your cool on
trying to keep your cool, yeah, and your mind's like exploding. Just exactly, dude. Oh man, you're just like sweat, like you're keeping it cool, but like there's sweat coming down on the video camera.
You're turning red, and you're just like, oh my gosh,
this is all red, and you're going nuts.
It happens, though. It happens.
It happens, dude. That's the scary thing about live. Anybody who does live out there, shout out to you guys. You are brave souls. There's a whole thing to that. Like we were talking about earlier. There's a whole I don't know. It's just like it's different when you're live. Like when I'm live, I don't know if I'm overly animated or like I just get into like too crazy. Like I think I'm more calm when I'm recording. That's why I like listening to you. Like you have like calm voice. Like me, I'm like, so I was like, what are you gonna do? But you're like calmer. Like that's what I was learning from you. Is like listening to your voice, like calm.
Thank you, bro. No, the live thing, man. I love going live, man. Like you said, there's something about going live. It's just even going live on Instagram too, man. I really enjoy that.
The energy's more like popping, huh? Like you're just like the energy's more like.
Yeah, man. And the people are, there's just a buzz. There's hype. There's energy.
Yeah.
There's anticipation. So yeah, going live is definitely a cool dynamic. It's very fun. It's exciting, and it's just a different feel, man. But yeah, it's I need to, like I keep saying, I'm going to get back into doing lives, but we'll see. But just podcasting, period, man. It's just so much fun, whether it's live or recording.
Yeah. What's the most interesting guest that you've had, like that you can think of, the first guest that pops in your head, like somebody really, really interesting that you had on the show?
I had shout out. I love all my guests, man. I did have Danny De La Paz on. I don't know if you're familiar with Danny De La Paz.
Is he an actor?
He's an actor, big puppet from American Me.
I was gonna say that. Yeah. I do know that guy. That's awesome.
Hey, he Whittier guy. He's from Whittier as well.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, and he came over, man. He came to my house. We recorded an episode. And that one was a great episode. Beautiful. The only thing about that episode that I shot myself in the foot, man, because I recorded on my phone. I recorded the video. Right. We were face to face in studio.
Right.
And afterwards we were done, and I don't know what I did, man, but I deleted the entire episode, man.
What? So it never launched?
Yeah, luckily I recorded it audio.
You had the audio separate.
I had the audio. So the only video from that interview I have is he did a drop, promotional, was saying, "Hey, this is Danny De La Paz. Stay tuned this week. I'll be on Profile Pod with Double A." That's the only video I have, man. And
at least you have that. At least you have that. Jeez.
I felt like a schmuck, man. Like just.
That's like the biggest. Yeah, dude, it happens. It's like crazy. Like, I mean, it's the worst. Like, I remember one time I was talking to this guy. I was interviewing this guy for like 20 minutes. It's just killer off, blah blah blah. And it's just going on. It's just like it was hitting. It's like timing was going. It was going good. And then I looked down at my recorder. I'm like, hey, we weren't recording for like 20 minutes.
Oh,
so I do it all over again.
Yep, I've been there, bro.
Dude. And then it's worse if you have to do it again. You know why? Because, well, if you're dumb like me, like I forget what we talked about. Like, did we talk about that before I was recording, or during right now when we're recording because it's been an hour and I don't know if I remember if we talked about this, and then like you lose your place.
Yeah,
it's crazy, man.
I hear you, man. I hear you. But so like he's one that he comes to mind. I mean, he was an amazing guest. Another guy that came on that really made an impression on me, man, was Tacos El Barbas. He goes by he wears a mask, and you can check out his episode on YouTube. But he's like probably 20 years younger than I am, man. And he came on.
Tacos El Barba?
Tacos El Barbas. VAR.
Oh, there he is. Barba, BARBA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. He came on, man. He was so energetic, so enthusiastic, so like positive, bro. His energy was just contagious, man. And he really like made an impression on me. Like, man, I got to do. What I took from him is that no matter what I do in life, especially with this podcast, I got to do it with energy. I got to do it with passion. I got to do it with enthusiasm. I got to do it with optimism, bro. You know, and he made such an profound impression on me, man. And I always remember that particular episode.
And is he like a restaurant or is he just like a show?
He caters tacos. Yeah. He'll come out and do, he'll cater your party, your event.
Wow.
And, so, another guy that comes to mind, and rest in peace, man, this guy, Josh Canuti, man,
Josh
Canuti, check him out. Rest in peace. Overcoming You podcast. And he came on, man, and he's a, inspirational story, man. And, guy came on, how he talked about how he was going to commit suicide and
oh, wow.
stuff. And he so he overcame that, and his whole podcast was dedicated to, overcoming overcoming the obstacles in your life, becoming positive,
like mental health type stuff.
Mental health.
Yeah. Me and Food Hoodie went over, like, I don't know if you listened to that episode I had with Food Hoodie. We went real deep on that. That was a great episode. Shout out to Food Hoodie. He's a freaking incredible guy.
Foodie, he's an amazing dude, man. He's big time mental health advocate.
He's inspiring like that. Like that's probably how that Josh Canuti was probably kind of like that.
But he was such an amazing guest, man. I really learned a lot from him, and great speaker, man. Just awesome.
Really.
And then about 6 months later, man, I forgot how I found out, man. But he passed away, man, and he's I think he
was it natural causes or
no? I think he succumbed to
the illness,
to suicide, man. And his wife, his widow, is now. Keeping his legacy alive, and
great.
She's
That's awesome.
starting a book called Overcoming You. Overcoming You is the name of the book.
Wow.
Like his podcast, and it's all based on his ideals and his beliefs and his life. And so anyways, but yeah.
Shout out to that book. Let's mention that again. Overcoming You, the book coming out from John Canuti's wife. Definitely grab that. That sounds
Josh Canuti,
Josh Canuti's wife. That's rest in peace, Josh Canuti. But man, that sounds like a great book to read. It'd be a great read.
Absolutely.
He sounded like an amazing guy. But there's a podcast out there that you can listen to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could go listen to his podcast, man. He was amazing, man. He was on his way. I think he had like over 4,000 followers on Instagram. His page is still there. And so I was just like, I was floored, man, when I found out, and I was just like, dang it, man.
It's tough, man. I had a guy from Australia, guitarist and rockabilly dude. And we talked a lot about that too. And I mean, it's great that people are talking about it. I think just that fact alone, right? Because when we were young, like, you don't talk about nothing. Your parents were like, what? We don't even hug.
You don't
talking about?
Yeah, we're Latinos, we're Mexican, especially in our culture. You're a boy, you're a man, you don't cry, you don't show emotion. About what I mean?
100%. That's exactly how we grew up, dude. It was just like that. So it's good that
don't be a sissy. Don't be no sissy.
Yeah. What you crying? What are you talking about? You're crying?
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you something to cry about.
Yeah. The machismo and all that, bro. And
yeah.
So yeah,
it's crazy.
Want something to cry about? Shit.
I'll give you the chancla, and then you'll cry.
El cinto, los cintadazos, man. Belt, right? They get the belt.
Well, that's crazy. That's crazy. Do you start to, as you've been doing it over the years, you start to develop obviously a trust with some of the guests that you have. You start to, the people feel comfortable coming on your show. Do they start to recommend other guests as well? Does that happen too?
It has, man. It has. Absolutely. A lot of times, you know what, honestly, Ray, at this, a lot of times, man, it's just like, hey, people approach me, hey, I want to get on your show. I want to get.
Well, you got to that level where people are coming to you.
It's both. It's both, man. Don't get me wrong. It's not just like, oh, I'm just, you're
knocking at your door. There's a guy right there at the window too. Actually, I see the window.
Yeah, right. It's no, trust me. I still, I'm looking for guests all the time, but a lot of times people, yeah, you're right. A guest will recommend their friend or their person. They'll recommend a guest to me and who they're very familiar with and have a great story, and it ends up working out. Awesome. Don't get me wrong. Not everybody's a great fit. Not everybody, just for whatever reason, and it's nothing personal, But.
Well, sometimes, what do you think about so sometimes, you're a great speaker. Like a lot of my guests can speak. If you have somebody that doesn't talk, you kind of have to pull. If you ever had that interview where you have to kind of yank the story out of them, like I'm trying to get an hour out of you, bro. You better talk.
That I've had, and I've had I can honestly say less than 5, maybe 2 or 3. I remember. I don't.
Most people are pretty good, right? Most people are they want to talk. Who doesn't want to talk about themselves? Who doesn't want to share their story? But some people, really gotta work it out. It's a lot of work to talk to.
It's the worst, right? It's the worst. But again, I've been pretty lucky with that particular thing, and I had one guy on, and granted, it was his first podcast.
Sure, that's the thing too. We got to be empathetic because they could be nervous. They could be totally nervous, and the cameras, lights, and everything like that, and the microphone in front of their face. So that happens too.
Yeah, but see, there's the skill set coming into play as a podcaster, as an interviewer. It's your job to make that person comfortable and get them to speak and to pull the, like you said, pull those nuggets out. Pull that information out of them. And so you got to finesse it. You got to.
You're right. 100%. It falls on us. The responsibility is ours. It's our show. We got to make the show happen, or else it's gonna fail. So it's 100% our responsibility, no doubt.
Absolutely, brother. So
that's crazy, man.
At the end of the day, like you said, we're the ones setting the tone, and it's our show. So you invited the guest on, and you got to get them to talk. Not talking.
That's awesome. That's why you're good at what you do, my friend.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you, brother.
That's crazy.
Hey, man, and seeing some of your episodes, and again, the Hood Foodie, and to say that you've only been doing this since February.
Yeah, just till February. It's probably on my 36th episode. Actually, you're probably going to be number 41.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, man. Congratulations, and
thank you.
You seem a lot more seasoned than that, man.
Oh wow. That's a lot coming from you, bro. You've been doing it a long time. You're like a legit, what I consider a legit podcaster. That's dope.
I appreciate you, man. No, thank you, man. And hey, dude, you seem like you're very passionate about this, and you're already 41 episodes. Before you know it, you'll be at 100. And
can't wait.
You seem like you know what the hell you're doing, bro. And
awesome, dude. Thank you.
You don't seem like it. You do know what the hell you're doing.
Awesome. I like that. That's cool. Is there anything you want to promote before I let you go here? I know it's getting late. Anything you want to promote at all?
Yeah, man. Yeah, just go check out the Profile Pod on Instagram. I'm on all the platforms,
Spotify, man. iTunes, even YouTube. You got a YouTube channel. You can check out the Profiles podcast.
I'm on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Clubhouse,
everything, dude. Clubhouse. I got to get in there too. Damn, that's
cool. Instagram, it's all the Profile Pod across the board. Check out the podcast. I got great content. I do reels. I do some acting stuff. I put together videos. Of personal videos of camping trips, and just a variety of content, man. That
Hell
I
yeah.
put out. And so yeah, check out the Profile Pod. I go by Double A on the podcast, and I'm also available on Roku TV and Amazon, Google Play. And, we're out there, man. We're out there. You can't miss it.
That's crazy. You can't miss it. The Profile Pod with Double A. Make sure you watch this guy. Check out this guy on there. My friend, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. Really appreciate you. Appreciate your, just coming on like you're a legit podcaster. So to take the time and do this is really, really appreciate it. And appreciate the support you've given me so far. Looking forward to a long friendship with you, my friend. We'll comment on each other's posts. I'm sure we'll go live together, whatever you need from me. Absolutely hit me up. Love to do anything for you that I can. Guys, make sure you follow the Profile Pod on Instagram and check and hit that little bell that they have on Spotify so you can get alerted when he has a new episode. He's got this every week almost, new episodes on Spotify and iTunes. Make sure you follow him. Big shout out to Jeremy, my acting friend, just like this guy right here. He does acting in Orange County, my one and only sponsor. And don't forget, you can sponsor this channel too. For as little as $1 a month, all you got to do is click on that sponsor link there in the description of the show. I want to thank you guys for listening. Thank you again, my friend Double A, for being on the show. And always remember, take it easy.
Thank you, Ray. I appreciate you, bro.
Thank you, brother. We'll see you guys next time. Have a great one.